अष्टोत्तर श्रीमदे श्री भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की नमाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की ग्रंथरा श्रीमद् भागवतम की शिल भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी डिसअपियरेंस डे की all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Today is a most auspicious Tirubhav Tithi of His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So I will try to narrate some pastimes because time is very short, just 40 minutes. I will narrate some important pastimes of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, which are maybe you might not have heard before. I will not narrate all the birth and all that. I will just mention some important points. To start with, in order to understand the glories of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, I will narrate very wonderful pastime narrated by His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur himself in Sajjantoshani. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur had two wives. The first wife gave birth to a son in 1860, and he was maybe around when he was around 11 months old or something, his mother died. So later on, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur married Bhagavati Devi, and then he had Bhakti Siddhanta and other sons like that. So the eldest son of Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur is Annada Dasa, or also known as Achyutananda, and then mostly most of the devotees, they called him Achyuta. Achyuta initially was very bright, and then he married also at a very young age, and then he had some 3 daughters. So maybe at the age of 24, he was working in a post office at the time. So on and off he would chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Then Hare Murare and Madhukaita Bare, so and all that. So at around the age of 24, he lost his mental balance. Then he was unable to work also, and then somehow or other he survived. So maybe at the in 1895, at the age of around 35, he became very sick. So at the time, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was not there. So then what happened? He was almost in 3-4 days. He was almost in coma-like condition. Then all the brothers and his stepmother, they all assembled there around in his room. So they were all that time Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, he was known as Bimal Prasad Datta. He was also present at the time. So they were all, they chanted very sweetly, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So at that time he opened his eyes a little bit, and then even though he is very weak with sickness for so many days, not eating, and he stopped eating, he stopped drinking, and then he decided to leave his body. So at that time, from his stepmother, he accepted Jagannath Prasad, Tulsi, Charnamrit, and a little bit, and then he became very ecstatic. And then suddenly, everybody watched to their amazement. A light has appeared from his navel. And then it traveled through his chest, through his kantha, and then through his into his Brahmarandra, and through his forehead, and through Brahmarandra. And one very wonderful thing happened, that a Sri Vaishnav Tilak has appeared throughout his body. And then after some time, the Sri Vaishnav Tilak has transformed into Gaudiya Vaishnav Tilak. Right? And then there was there were some lamps were lit, and then there was effulgence all over the place. All Vaishnavas, Vishnu Dutas, they were standing in the room. Then he slowly opened his eyes. Then he told one very interesting thing, that in my last life, I was a Sri Vaishnava. Because I spoke against Gaudiya Siddhanta, Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, I committed an offense. I had a previous experience with Bimal Prasad. In my last life also, I knew him. He is not an ordinary personality. So he enumerated Sri Bimal Prasad's glories a lot. That he is not a ordinary soul. He is a all of is a ray of Vishnu and all that. Then he concluded that Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta is the topmost philosophy. Because I committed offense, I had to take birth like this and suffer all this mental imbalance and all that as an offense, as a result of the offense. Now, because I heard sweet chanting by the pure devotees of the Lord of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, I became free from that offense. Like that. Then he spoke about the glories of the holy name. He said, have faith in the holy name of Krishna, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Understand that there is no difference between Krishna and his holy name. Please chant attentively and without offense. You will attain the perfection. You will attain the perfection. So, saying like that, he left his body through this Brahmarandra, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And all that. So later on, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur commented that because of a little offense, he had to take this birth. Now, understanding this, so because then he calculated the time of leaving the body, and then because he left like a yogi, then he said he attained perfection. So like that, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote about this incident in Sajjan Toshani. So from this, we can understand the glories of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Like it is said, Marana Vangmulam, nobody lies at the time of death. Like that. So we could understand the glories of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So right from the childhood, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta showed his wonderful glories and effulgence. He is always effulgent and he is always very serious. Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, disciple, Bihari Das, Babaji. So he commented that whenever I would visit Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house, I would see Bimal Prasad. At the time he is 4 years old. He is always looked very serious, and he is very educated and very like he remembered whole entire Bhagavad Gita at the age of 5 or 6. At the age of 5 or 6. And then one thing I liked about Bimal Prasad, his effulgence, then his devotion to Krishna right from the childhood. So one day, one Babaji came to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he is very humble, and so he did not offer obeisances to that Babaji. So usually, we also see, right, sometimes some devotees, they become upset if you don't pay obeisances, and they'll comment, pranam nahi karta hai. So this disease is always there. So he commented, I see that your son is not offering obeisances to me. Then Bhaktivinoda Thakur commented, he doesn't offer obeisance to Sahajiyas. So once Bipin Bihari Das Goswami, his so-called spiritual master of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he came. So when Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur offered obeisances to Dandavat Pranam to Bipin Bihari Das Goswami, he kept his feet on the head of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And Bhaktisiddhanta, he was at the time, he was around 6 or 7 years old. He said, do you know who is my father? Do you think you have got the power to keep your feet on my father's head? He is a manjari in the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Do you think you have got the power? So he became very upset. Oh, your son is very impudent. Like that. So he was actually always very straightforward and, to the point, like that. He is Ekasanta Grahi, means Shrutadhar. If he would read once, he would remember. So he would actually remember so many shlokas. If you read Chaitanya Bhagavat, you will understand. He would quote from various sources, various shlokas and all that. So he is known as a living encyclopedia. Living encyclopedia. So later on, he was very, very brilliant. So he was pursuing, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur wanted him to pursue secular education. So he joined some college and all that. Later on, he left it because he said, he is already become very famous. If I continue to study, then everybody will force me to take up a job in government and all. So I don't want to be servant of somebody, like that. Then he left that. And then he was very, very proficient in Jyotish Shastra. Jyotish Shastra. So he was so proficient that he wrote a book also. In Bengali, he translated from Sanskrit to Bengali. And then Surya Siddhanta, he wrote comments and all that. So at that time, there was very, very famous professor in Benares, Bhopadeva Shastri. He was very, very famous. So the Christians committee, they have actually hired him to combine Western Siddhanta and Indian Siddhanta. So he changed certain philosophical points and certain facts from Vedas, and then he was actually trying to infuse that both of them together and present. Copernicus, they had this Copernicus model, like that. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he refuted many of his points, And because of that, he became very, very famous. And later on the instructions of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he left practicing. Then he had a Chatushpati school, Jyotish school, where he had many of his students and all. So they all actually requested him, don't please come little bit, like that. So in 1902, 1902, 2nd January, in some Raja of some king, under his stewardship, there was a Vad Vivad, argument between Bhopadeva Shastri's very senior disciple, because at the time Bhopadeva Shastri became very old, and then he and his disciples and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, they had a argument, argument. Vad, it's called Vad Vivad, like that. And what happened? So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta defeated all his arguments in such a thorough manner that that person, who was a very great scholar himself in Jyotish Shastra, he became thoroughly defeated. And then all the audience glorified Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. Then he became, that scholar became so frightened that he passed stool and urine in his dhoti, in the publicly, like that. So later on, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta felt compassion, said, now onwards, no Vad Vivad. I will not, argue with anybody. So it is explained, even though Srila Bhaktisiddhanta he was expert. So Srila Prabhupada himself said that he would not travel on Thursdays. Like that. And then he would always say, if Krishna allows, I will travel. Even though he had a train ticket, this and that, like that. He was always dependent on Krishna. So if there is he usually followed Jyotish Shastra, but if there is a clash between Jyotish Shastra and Bhakti, so he, he gave preference to Bhakti, and then he followed Bhaktivinoda Thakur's instruction, and sometimes, he overlooked all the muhurtas and this and that. But sometimes, one day, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he was walking, strolling, and then he saw horoscope of Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj. Then he picked it up and then he studied. Then he said, you are a very great scholar, but you will not get recognition. So that is why Srila Bhakti Prabhupada's very dear god brother, very good dear friend of Srila Prabhupada, Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj. He was a very scholarly person, but he didn't become famous. And then Srila Prabhupada actually offered him, you become president of ISKCON, I will preach, I will work under you. But he refused. He said, Srila Prabhupada invited him to America and all, come, When Srila Bhaktisiddhanta himself, he requested him to go to London. He requested him to go to London. But he refused, saying that I cannot handle these Western people and all that. So he remained subdued like that. So once one disciple came to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, then he saw his hand, palm, said, no, you cannot take sannyas, you have to get married. So we came to, so like that, he would predict, you will have this problem, that problem, and all that. But he gave it up. So later on, there is all of you know, very interesting pastime of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta trying to get initiation from Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. So Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj would say, I will take permission from Lord Chaitanya and, I will tell you. So after some time, Bhaktisiddhanta would go, did you ask? No, I forgot. Then again after some time he would go, did you ask? No, I asked, but Mahaprabhu did not give answer. So like that he went on, postponing. Then he said, I am, because Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, they started some brahmachari club. And then they remained to they took a vow to remain brahmachari lifelong. All of them, they fell off. Only one person remained. So he was very, very moralistic. He was known as very moralistic person. So then he said, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said, you are a devotee of a debauchee, Sri Krishna. Huh? So why would you accept a moralistic person like me? Like that he was. Then finally he relented, and then he gave him initiation. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj told him three things. Never to accept disciples, don't associate with anybody, don't go to cities of Kali, Calcutta. So all the three he disobeyed. So the explanation was given. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta himself says that I never accepted anybody as my disciple. I see them as my gurus and messengers of my guru. So I learn from them how to do Hari Seva. So that is why whenever some disciples would, they would come and offer obeisance to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, and Bhaktisiddhanta also would in return offer obeisances. Right? Like that. So that is, he said, I never accepted anybody as my disciple. Then number two, I never associated with anybody, because association means take something from others. So I never took anything from others for my own sense enjoyment and all. So they, so I only gave them association like that. So I never associated. Then he said, in Kolkata and all, I never went to Kolkata. I only went to Gaudiya Math. Right? So Gaudiya Math is none other than Golok Vrindavan in Vaikuntha. So I never went to Calcutta. Then some other time he said that why this even Sri Ramanuja also disobeyed the orders of his spiritual master to do welfare for all the people. So in the same way, in order to spread Krishna consciousness, I did like that. So when so he liked Puri very much. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, there is Bhakti Kutir was there. The ISKCON temple that we purchased, that time when some time back when we were visiting, it is in a very bad condition, and now they repaired and all. But that was originally owned by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he invited his son Bimal Prasad, whom he taught from the childhood how to print books, how to do proofreading, how to publish books, managing the printers, printing machines and everything, typing, everything Bhaktivinoda Thakur taught Srila Bhaktisiddhanta right from the childhood. So he was actually learning many things in Puri. So he made friendship. There are many scholars at that time. Radha Raman Charan Das Babaji. So he was friends. Initially, everybody was, he was giving lot of talks and all that. Initially, everything was hunky-dory, rosy. But later on, that Charan Das Babaji, he introduced, Nitai Gaur Radheshyam, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. All of you, those who go to Puri, you will know. Nitai Gaur Radheshyam, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. He introduced his mantra. So, Bhaktisiddhanta, he was a lion guru. He was a lion. He won't keep quiet. So, if you read Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur's life story, you will see Prabhupada. You will remember Prabhupada just like father, like son, like that, like guru, like disciple. The same fiery temperament and compassion and all inherited, Srila Prabhupada inherited from his spiritual master. Like that. So he had a lot of arguments, and then there is a public debate and all that. And to his dismay, all the people of Puri, they supported Charan Das Babaji. Charan Das Babaji. And he was surprised. It's not shocking actually. Bhaktivinoda Thakur instructed him, why are you wasting your time arguing with this, useless people? Go to Mayapur and then do bhajan. So that is why he took a vow to, I think, chant 1 billion names in the... So there, he, Chandrasekhar Acharya's house, he recognized. And then he recognized that place as Vrajapattanam. So that is why in Chaitanya Math, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta established a replica of Vrindavan. Radha Kund, Sham Kund, Giriraj, Govardhan, and all the places like that. So he sat there and then he chanted the holy names and all that. So later on, he was very grief-stricken. In the beginning, in the first, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur disappeared. Right? So at that time, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur was not there in Kolkata. He was in Mayapur. And then by the time he reached, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur left his body. So it is around 8 o'clock in the night he reached, by the time only. So when he saw his mother, she was very, very composed. She said, Bimal, don't worry, don't lament and all. It is a day of rejoicing for all of us because your father has rejoined the eternal pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So today is that day where we should glorify his wonderful qualities. So till the middle of the night, all the followers of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, they gathered. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta lectured till the middle of the night. Till the middle of the night. About the glories of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Then after some time, Sri Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj also left. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta became very grief-stricken, saying that, who will now chastise me? Who will, to whom I will show that, I have written this article, and then who will praise, who will correct me? So he was very, very grief-stricken. And then one unfinished pages of Anuvritti, they flew across. And there he read the pages where it is mentioned that one should not give up the service to Dham and all that stuff. Then he became, so that day when he was a little bit falling asleep, he got a dream-like situation where all Shat Goswamis, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, and all the Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, they all appeared to him. Said, Saraswati, give up this lamentation. Go to Calcutta and preach the glories of the holy name of Krishna. Gauranam, Gauradham, Gaurakam. These three things, they were, he stressed upon. What is it? Gauranam, Gauradham, and then Gaurakam. Three things. That you go, then Bhaktisiddhanta expressed his desire. He was very, very, our Prabhupada is very expert in collecting money. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he said, I am not very good in collecting money. Like that. Then he said, don't worry. We will give you all the facilities, all the scholarship, all the people, all the resources, all the followers, we will be with you forever. With you forever. Don't worry about all these things. We will supply you everything. Like that. So that is why Srila Bhaktisiddhanta always used to say, don't worry about money. Depend on Krishna. If you are preaching, then Krishna will supply everything. Krishna will supply everything. Like that. So, then he started preaching. So he went to Kolkata, then Ulta Dingi. Now we got that place, right? Renovation, very good. So very wonderful place where Ulta Dingi, it's a 2-story building in Kolkata. So they hired that place for 50 rupees at that time. So it was very difficult. Kunja Bihari Prabhu, one of the first very prominent and very affectionate, very dear to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Prabhupada, later on he became Bhaktivilas Tirtha Goswami, and then Prabhupada called him snake in the grass. because he gave a lot of trouble to Prabhupada, like that. So, but of course, Srila Prabhupada said he went back to Godhead. So, Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he started like that. So, he used to stay on the terrace room and all that with all his books and all that. That's where our Srila Prabhupada met, on the terrace of that Ulta Dingi temple. So, Kunja Bihari Prabhu, he was giving 25 rupees. He was working as a postmaster so he was giving 25 rupees. And then all other disciples, they used to struggle to collect other 25 rupees. So it was like that. And then he expanded the movement. Then Srila Prabhupada met him in 1922. Then the temples, the books, everything followed. The most important seva that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta has done was Dham Seva. He developed Mayapur Dham. Then he introduced Vrajamandal Parikrama. And then, so he built temples in Puri. And then there was a, there was an explosion. Then his most significant contribution was, theistic exhibitions, all over. So in 1930 or somewhere, where there was a drought and famine, so people are dying, then he collected so much money, and then he put this theistic exhibition. One very interesting pastime. Once Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he was giving a lecture on the verse, Mai sarvani karmani sanyasyadhyatma chetasa nirasir nirmama bhutva yudhyasva vigatajvara. Prabhupada says, this is the essence of Bhagavad Gita, this shloka. This shloka is known as the pendant Kuta shloka. If you understand this, you will understand Bhagavad Gita. So, after this, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta finished this lecture. Like Srila Prabhupada used to say, he also said, any questions? So one gentleman came, he said, how do I implement this shloka in my life? In my life. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta asked him, what do you do? He said, I am a professor in university. His name was Professor Sanyal. Professor Sanyal. So later on he became known as Bhakti Sudhakar Prabhu. Very exalted devotee. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said, okay, then bring that salary and give it to me. Right? We give it to me. So same thing happened with Srila Prabhupada also. Brahmananda Prabhu once he went to Prabhupada and said, Swamiji, I have a doubt. He said, what? I got a job. Srila Prabhupada's eyes became very wide. You got a job? You got a job? Because at that time all hippies, Prabhupada was maintaining somehow all these hippies. Brahmananda Prabhu said, why should I work? I'll also, join the temple and eat chapatis prepared by Prabhupada. Then Prabhupada said, no, you should work. Then he said, karma, entanglement. Then he said, Prabhupada said, don't worry, you work and give that money to Krishna. Brahmananda Prabhu said, how do I give that money to Krishna? No, you earn that money, give that money to me, then I will give it to Krishna. So Prabhupada wrote in 1810 or 1811, he said, Prabhupada said, such devotees who are working outside, giving their entire salary to ISKCON, they are elevated souls. Such elevated souls, they don't have to take sannyas. They are already sannyasis. Like that Prabhupada wrote, Mahatmas, Prabhupada described them. Anyway, this gentleman, he actually, he brought that salary and gave it to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. That time he was earning 800 rupees. It's a big money, 800 rupees. So he gave. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, okay. Mai sarvani karmani sanyasya adhyatma chetasa. Bhaktisiddhanta called his disciples, go and ask his wife, his Mataji, what are the expenses? So 250 rupees. So 250 rupees worth saman they used to purchase and give it to them every month. So every month he was coming and giving the salary to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. Every month he was maintaining. And then when his daughter became big, Bhaktisiddhanta performed the marriage of his daughter. And then there in Ananda Bajar Patrika or Amrita Bajar Patrika? Ananda Bajar Patrika. So it published, it's a very famous paper that, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, the founder of Gaudiya Mutt, he contributed, he performed the marriage of his disciple, the daughter of his disciple with pomp and gaiety. Like that it was published in the paper. And this one day, once Bhakti Sudhakar Prabhu, he went to meet Janaki Das Bose. He is the father of Subhash Chandra Bose. And he was a very famous lawyer in Cuttack. Yeah. So the Gaudiya Mutt, the thing was, Madhukari, not like ISKCON, big donations. They are all Madhukari, monthly you give something, this. He said, please give monthly contribution to Cuttack, temple, like that. Then he said, whatever you are giving, I will give you double. Then he said, I am giving 800 rupees. Then he fainted it. 800 rupees. So then he gave like that. So when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he was conducting this theistic, so many young brahmacharis, young boys, they were joining, and then he was spending, lavishly. They wanted to construct a temple in Cuttack or somewhere, Chennai or somewhere. So one Raja gave 15,000 rupees. They said 15,000 rupees. Then he gave 8,000 rupees. Then Bhaktisiddhanta, he said, he spent that 8,000 rupees for theistic exhibition, dioramas and all that. And it was very famous, like that. And then Subhash Chandra Bose came and protested that, what is the use of all this, Hare Krishna and preaching and all that. So we are fighting for India's salvation. Why didn't you, you are actually a very valuable resource, asset. You are taking away all these young people. Give them to me. Give them to me. I will, I will make them army, make them join army, and, they will fight for India. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, like he spoke to Prabhupada also, he spoke about the insignificance of this freedom movement. He said, what is the use? India ruled, Bharatvarsha ruled the entire world for so many years, millions of years. This 1,000 years is a flash in the pan. It's just like a flash. It doesn't matter. He said, then he explained about the soul, body, and all our Krishna conscious philosophy. And then Subhash Chandra Bose, he was so impressed that he said, the teachings of Lord Chaitanya are in the safe hands of a person. If I had come before, starting this movement, this India Azad Hind Fauj, right? He started that. So if I had known you before, I would have joined Hare Krishna movement. Subhash Chandra Bose. He said it's too late. So actually Prabhupada's, senior Subhash Chandra Bose. Srila Prabhupada, that's why he said, freedom movement we have got not because of Gandhiji, it is because of Subhash Chandra Bose. Prabhupada had a, favorable attitude towards. So anyway, so this is, so Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he said, don't collect money, don't collect the soul. Collect the soul. There are many Sulochans and Dharmantris that time also. So there is one Maharaj, Bodhayan Maharaj. One day he went, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta did not want his disciples to tell a lie. He said, practice Krishna consciousness, remain pure, and then Krishna will send. But always there are characters. So Bodhayan Maharaj, one day he went to one income tax officer. He said, give me your car. Take me with you. I will travel in your car. He said, they are all honest people, He said, it is maleficence. I don't know what that word is. So he said, no, it's not good. I can't do that. Then he said, give me your car. Drop me. Tell your driver to drop me. So he went in the car, all the Lal Batti, income tax department. He was going in that car. So everybody was thinking, he has some connection with income tax department. So all of them, they became very scared. And then they gave big donation. then he said, we have, 10,000 devotees we are, maintaining. Like that. So in Kolkata temple we have 300 brahmacharis. So for winter season give the vest. So one merchant gave 300 vests. Then he collected the entire booty. So much, because everybody was scared, because he was, like that. And then he said, Jai His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai, Jai, all glories. Like that, by chanting like that, he entered the Gaudiya Math. Then Bhaktisiddhanta asked, how could you collect so much? Like that he told. Then he was like, he became like fire, it seems. And then he fired him and then he said, this is cheating, give back all the 300 vests. So they had to go back and, give back all the 300 vests. Like that. So once one devotee, there is one Shripad Puri Maharaj, he was very firm believer in all these things, and then he was chanting nicely and then he was collecting. Then, they used to collect rice, dal, sabji and little 10 rupees like that. And he said, oh, this is pure collection. Mahaprabhu accepted this. And then he ate little rice like that. He was, otherwise, many of disciples, they would make some con, Srila Prabhupada once recounted, one sannyasi, he came, he was preaching in Mumbai, so Prabhupada accompanied him, said, my Guru Maharaj did tapasya for 12 years in, Himalayas. All that he was telling. So Prabhupada was saying, hearing all these lies, we are maintaining 10,000 devotees, we need so much this and that. So he was telling. So that man, he went and he gave. Like that. And then Srila Prabhupada was saying, hearing these lies, I could not, start, laughing. Very difficult to stop my laughing, hearing like that. So once one disciple went to, one Maharaj went to one rich man in Cuttack. Then they are saying, like this. And then what he did, that man said, you take this, fruits first. Take these fruits first. He said, first you give the donation. If you give the donation, I will take the fruit. Otherwise, I will not eat fruit. That time they are very pious, That wife became very frightened. She said, de do. Otherwise, if a brahmachari, sannyasi goes away without, drinking water. He said, I will not touch water, I will not eat any fruit in your house unless you give the donation. Like that. And then he said, okay. So he gave the donation. Then he took the fruit. Then Bhaktisiddhanta knew everything. Then he said, how did you collect this? Like this. What nonsense, This is actually blackmailing. Why you don't collect like this? Like that he chastised. So one day, another Maharaj, he is Sri Rupa or somebody, he went to one rich man's house, and then he started glorifying his wife. Then he said, you are so great, this and that. And then you are like Lakshmi Devi, Sakshat Lakshmi Devi. And then she became so impressed. Said, de do. Then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said, there are, during Bhaktisiddhanta's time also, one disciple, he was, like we see in ISKCON also, right? Life membership preacher means some characters. He would take some money. So he would collect some money. That time no checks and all. So he collected 15,000 rupees in his kata. And then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta knew, and everybody was telling, He won't give. Yeah. So one day Srila Bhaktisiddhanta arranged a very big function where, they have to distribute prasadam to thousands of people. Thousands of people. And he said they wanted 15,000 rupees. So this disciple, his friend went and told him, that, give that money. Guru Maharaj is asking, no, that is my money. Like that. And then, so he won't give. So many people go and tell. And then finally, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta finally called him and told, so, see, all these people have come. Abhi hamara ijjat chala jayega. So better you give that money. So very reluctantly, he gave that 15,000 rupees. And so it's all, Gaudimat money only. But, kya karega? So he gave. Then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta glorified him in the sabha, see, my disciple has given this money, and all that. So he, everywhere, he established these temples. So that time, 15,000, 20,000, like that. So there is one disciple, Jagabandhu Bhakti Ranjan Das. He is such an exalted devotee that he ran away from his village, Midnapur or somewhere, and then he came to Calcutta. He was working as a some seller, sales boy in a kirana store, like that. So like from there he rose, and then he became a JB Inks, JBD group, JB Inks chairman he became. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he was very fond of Kunj Bihari Prabhu. And then Kunj Bihari Prabhu, Prabhupada said, he is very, very expert in collecting money. Very expert. Like that. So this Jagabandhu Das, he associated with Kunj Bihari Prabhu, started coming to the temple and all that. After 2 years of testing, he revealed his identity, that he is actually Jagabandhu, JB Inks ka chairman hai. Very rich man at that time. Then he understood that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he was a very, very genuine Vaishnava spiritual master. And then Kunj Bihari, he is a very advanced devotee and all that. Then he said, I want to contribute all my wealth to seva of Vaishnavas, our Guru Maharaj. He said, what? Build a temple. So all this while they were staying, rented place for 50 rupees in Ulta Dingi. So he personally contributed all the money for building Bagh temple, all marble, all architecture, everything. He was a diabetic patient. He was having a diabetic foot problem. The doctors have advised him not to stand for a long time and all that. Then he wouldn't listen. He would stand, and then if he doesn't like the design, if already built, and then some problem is there, he would tear it apart and then build it again. So gorgeous temple they built. Till now, they say, nobody, so when Kunj Bihari would say, why are you spending so much money? Said, then he would start crying, it seems. Why are you stopping me from serving my Guru Maharaj? Huh? Why are you stopping me from serving Gaur Chandra? Like that he would cry. Then they would ask for, account and how much money you spent. Why are you worried? So till now nobody knows how much money was spent for building that Bagh temple. 2 days before the installation, the opening ceremony, he became very sick. And then he was lying in a sick bed. And then he called out, Kunj Bihari, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, Prabhupada, like that. And then both of them appeared near his bed. And then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta chanted Hare Krishna. So he left his body on the lap of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. And then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta took his body inside the temple, and he bathed. They all did, Tirobhav ceremony of Jagabandhu. Then he said, he is real sannyasi. He dedicated all his wealth. He wrote a will also, that whatever money is there, little bit, he didn't have a children. All the money should go to, Gaudimat, like that. So that is the story of Bagh temple, like that. So now a little bit coming to Mayapur, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said whenever we go to Mayapur, we should render service by serving prasadam to the Vaishnavas. And then we should we should build houses for devotees in Dham. So that is why he instructed, whenever people will come to Dham like Mayapur, Vrindavan and Jagannath Puri, we should build places where devotees can come and stay in those places so that, they can, so we will get residence in Vrindavan. If you build houses for devotees to stay in our Bhama Vrindavan and all, so we will get residence in the Mayapur Dham and all that. So that is where he has taken upon himself. So when they were building in 1934, when they were building this temple in Yogpit, in Yogpit, they found a Vishnu deity. When they were digging, they found a Vishnu deity. So at that time, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he was in Kolkata. And then when they narrated the description of the deity, he ascertained that this is Adokshaja Vishnu. So, what is Adokshaja Vishnu? Because Adokshaja means beyond senses, whom we cannot understand with our senses, right? Adakritam, Adikrantam, Akshajam, Indre Jatam. So, he said, Sevon Mukehi Jivada. Right? So, if you render service to Mahaprabhu in this Dham, Mahaprabhu will reveal himself. Mahaprabhu will reveal himself. Like that. So, then archaeologists at that time, they were shown this deity and then they confirmed that this deity was belonging to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's era. 1500, 1400 like that. So then it is confirmed that because that time there was a fight going on that, in other side, Navadvip, they are saying that is real Mayapur. And then so Bhaktivinoda Thakur established this and all that. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta confirmed, this is the place where, this Gaurachandra's father and mother, they stayed. And because they worshipped Adokshaja Vishnu. It is like that is where that Yogpit was, developed. And then that is Chaitanya Mat, like that. So, I will tell some interesting pastimes, then maybe I have to finish. So, when once Seva Vilas Brahmachari or somebody, he saw Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He was staying in Brajapatnam, that is Chaitanya Mat, and then he started walking in the middle of the night, he started walking towards Yogpit. Then he was surprised that, how come, Guru Maharaj is, going to, middle of the night, where he is going, all that, So he followed Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. So when he reached Yogpit, there are certain few great effulgent personalities were there, both men and women. Right? So they all offered obeisance to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Then they introduced themselves, saying that we are Svetadvipa Vasis. So we came here to take darshan of Gaura. So they circumambulated Yogpit 4 times. 4 times. And then they rolled in the dust of that Yogpit, and then they said, they started shouting, Sachi Devi, Sachi Devi, Sachi Devi, like that. We are, today, we came here, to take part in this wonderful Sankirtan. We heard that you are a very, very dear servant of Sri Gaurachandra. Please narrate the wonderful pastimes of Sri Gaurachandra for us. We want to hear from you because you are a very dear associate of Sri Gaurachandra. Like that. And they arranged a Vyasasan. And then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta sat. And then till the time of Mangalarti, Mangalarti from the midnight, he narrated the wonderful pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. To all the Svetadvivas. Then they all requested, please, narrate for us every day, we will come. Like that. So one day he would tell, so here, just see, Panchatattva is dancing. Panchatattva is dancing. Like that. And then all the disciples would come, but they cannot see. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he was in ecstasy. Oh, Panchatattva is dancing. So all the, all the wonderful pastimes, the Sankirtan pastimes, still go on. So those who are very, very fortunate, they can, see. They can see. Like that. Yeah, then he developed, Mayapur Navadvip Mandal Parikrama, and then one day they went to some forest, near Champahati. So there, some temple was dilapidated, small, so like that, and then it was completely locked and all that. And then they opened a little bit. There are beautiful deities of Gaur Gadadhar, right? If you go to Champahati, you will see very beautiful deities of Gaur Gadadhar. So Vrinda Vaninath Vipra, I think, Vaninath Vipra, he established those Gaur Gadadhar deities during Mahaprabhu's time, like that. So they have relocated, and then there, some brahmanas and all, they are eating fish and all that. And then somehow or other, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta acquired that place. Then he established, very beautiful temple there. There is one devotee, Nayanananda Das Babaji Maharaj. He was a, eternal pujari, means he throughout his life, he served those Gaur Gadadhar deities. Guru Datta Seva, like that. So that was there. And then one more time, when he was in Puri, also he wanted, that Chataka Parvat. He said that is actually, Govardhan. That is really Govardhan. And then he said that we will establish a temple there. We should establish a temple there, like that. So Nafir Pal, or some very rich man who was actually assisting Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur also. So he had, so Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he was known as a ghost buster. Ghost buster. There are so many places haunted by ghosts. So they would not. So he had a very nice property in Puri. Then he said, please come and, do some kirtan, he will, that ghost will run away. Because, nobody will dare to stay there because, ghost will, Brahma Rakshas was there. Brahma Rakshas was troubling people and all that. Okay, said, don't worry. So Bhaktisiddhanta arranged a Krishna Katha. So when Bhaktisiddhanta started narrating Krishna Katha, after few hours of Krishna Katha, water jug, water jug was kept, and then it flew in the sky. And then it was moving, and then it fell. And then that water touched the lotus feet of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. And then one person got up and then went back. Then Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta said, he is a Vaishnava in his last life, but he was always doing Vaishnava Aparadha by criticizing Vaishnavas. Because of that he became Brahma Rakshas. Right? So now because he heard the Bhagavad Katha, now he got relieved of that offense. Now he has gone back to Godhead. Like that. So in Puri, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur established, this Chataka Purushottam Gaudi Mata is there in front of our temple. Then also this Chataka, this Parvat Gaudi Mat also. So he is very, very fond of this place. Then he said, this Tota Gopinath temple is nearby only. And then he said that we should read Bhagavatam in this place because Gadadhar Goswami, Gadadhar Pandit, he actually recited Bhagavatam in Tota Gopinath temple, and he was very expert in reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is why he said that he will. So in the same, and then he established this Vrajamandal Parikrama also. Then he actually, when he was a very that time caste Goswamis, they tried to kill him in Mayapur during Navadvip Mandal Parikrama. So even Vrindavan also, they have protested because he was giving initiation to non-Brahmins. And then ladies also. He was giving initiation to ladies also, Brahman Diksha and all that. So they did not approve. So when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta went to all the Goswami temples in Vrindavan, all the temples they have closed the doors on the face of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. Only Radharaman temple, they gave darshan. Then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said, no problem. Radharaman deity, they have their embodiment of all the deities in Vrindavan. So we got darshan of Radharaman, so we don't have to worry. But Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj and other, he was from a very prominent Brahmin family, Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj. He actually, he and his some other Brahmin disciples, they said, we are from a Brahmin family, and then we accept Srila Bhaktisiddhanta as our guru, and then he is such a pure soul. So, they are very, very particular about all this Suchi and all that. So, we are very, very particular about all this Suchi and all that. If we could accept Srila Bhaktisiddhanta as a bona fide, prominent and pure spiritual master, what is your problem? You should not insult pure devotee like that. And then slowly, everybody opened up, like that. And then that's where Srila Prabhupada, he went to meet Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur near in Radhakund. So that's where he told that Ag hobe, Ag jalbe, there will be fire. He said, when we are in Ultadingi temple, paying 50 rupees rent, we are very, very happy and close. Now all the disciples, they were fighting. One very prominent incident I will tell, that he sent Bon Maharaj with his own expense to Germany, London and all. So he went to drop him at Kolkata port. And then when Bon Maharaj came back from London, Bhaktisiddhanta went to receive Bon Maharaj at the port personally. And Bon Maharaj, as soon as he got down, he said, your process did not work. Like that he declared. Like that. So, Bhakti Sudhakar Prabhu, he castigated him, saying that how can you speak to our spiritual master like that? What, is your, what is, Then Bon Maharaj wrote a letter, I think some 16-page letter or something. What will happen after Srila Bhakti, after you leave? What will happen to Gaudiya Math after you leave? When Srila Bhaktisiddhanta read that letter, he was so furious, he was so angry that when I don't come in front of me anymore, don't participate in my Samadhi ceremony, said, then like that he rejected him, Bon Maharaj. But Bhakti Vikas Maharaj writes that whatever he wrote in that letter happened, exactly happened. Exactly happened like that. And Bon Maharaj went to Himalayas, and then he did tapasya for 8 years, and for doing prayaschitta, for committing offense to the spiritual master. Like that. So Sevatul was saying, one of his friends, he was doing research on this paper in Finland University. So I wanted to know what is written in that. What did he write? That, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was so furious. It's like that. So he said, it isn't, they have that copy, we will get it. So he's saying that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he was not so upset. He was not so upset when he said that, your process did not work, because he was, I will explain one interesting pastime. Nayanananda Babaji Maharaj, he was explaining that one day there was a group of all, Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta, he was very fond of Srila Prabhupada. He would, when Prabhupada was there, when Prabhupada, at the time he was known as Kacha Grahastha, rotten Grahastha. They used to call Prabhupada rotten Grahastha. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta would recognize the footsteps, sound of footsteps, ahat of Srila Prabhupada. Oh, Abhay Babu is coming, like that. So one day he was actually discussing something very serious with his disciples, sannyasi disciples. And then when Prabhupada came, oh, Abhay Babu has come, all of you go. And then they had a long talk in his room, and then everybody was wondering, he sent off, our sannyasi disciples, what is he discussing with this rotten grahastha? Like that, they were expressing surprise. Like that. So one day Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he had a group of all disciples. Then they were discussing who will spread Krishna consciousness in the Western countries. Who will make the words of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Bhavishwani true. Then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said, there is somebody who will do it. There is somebody who will do it. And then he was actually scanning all the disciples. And then he fixed his glance at one particular person. And then he was exchanging some secret messages through his eyes, and smiling. So Nayanananda Babaji Maharaj, he thought he was looking at me, maybe I will be doing it. Then he got a doubt. "Arey, mere ko to ABCD nahi aata hai. How can I do it?" Then he looked back. There he saw Prabhupada. He was there. And then Prabhupada and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, they were exchanging glances, knowingly that, actually Srila Bhaktisiddhanta knew that Prabhupada is going to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. But he still, sent some of his disciples, they came back. That's why Srila Prabhupada was very proud. My sannyasis disciples, they could not succeed. But my grahastha disciples, they were successful. London, Prabhupada was, he was speaking to Dhananjay Prabhu. He said he is from Scotland. Then he said, Scotland? Oh, the Scotland people occupied Manipur. So you should go and preach in Manipur. Like that Prabhupada would tell. Like that. So anyway, so he was not upset because, but he says that in that research paper they said, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta did not like the intention, the attitude with which he wrote that letter. That's why Srila Bhaktisiddhanta discarded him. Like that. So by 1935, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he was very despondent, because he thought that all my disciples are neophyte. They remained neophyte. So he was very, very sorry that, so they are fighting, so and all that. So from 1935 onwards, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta started saying that now my time has come to go, my time has come to go, so and all that. So later on, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta in 1937, so in his last days, he was actually always Rupa Manjari Pada, that Rupa Goswami. Who is resident? Narottam Das Thakur? Narottam Das Thakur. So he wanted that bhajan to sing all the time, every day. And then he was always asking, please give me shelter at Govardhan. Please give me shelter at Govardhan. Like that. So there is one bhajan also, give me shelter at Govardhan. So like that he was seeking, shelter at Govardhan, like that. So there are some devotees who would sing very nicely, Rupa Manjari Pada, this bhajan and all that. And then one day Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj, who was not a very good singer, but he would actually, he asked him to sing. Then Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj was singing. Some Pranavananda or somebody came. He was a very famous singer. They said, you will sing. So no. Let him sing. He is singing with devotion. Like that. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he said, of course, Srila Prabhupada is very fond of, playing harmonium and all that. But, so Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta, Prabhupada, our Prabhupada also, they have, common this thing, one thing, that, one thing, devotees, they don't like, when somebody is eating prasad, we have a lot of problem. So that time also it was there. So one grahastha, he was giving little donation, and then he was actually every day coming and eating with his family. So these ashramvasis, they have a problem. Every day is taking prasad, every day is taking prasad, every day Mahaprasad. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said, I prefer this kind of donors who give little donation and take prasad every day than those people who give big donation and they don't want to take prasad. Then he said, those devotees who come, unannounced, for taking prasad, he said, Paramatma Prerita Bhaktas, they are. Paramatma has induced them to come and take prasad. So he used to serve personally to such people, it seems. He said, Paramatma has sent, so I should take care. Like that. So like that, we should take care. Same, thing was inherited by Srila Prabhupada, that nobody should go hungry within 10 miles of, ISKCON, like that. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta knew that he's going to leave the body and all that. Then all the disciples they gathered. Then everybody came, and then he was constantly chanting. And then I think Pramanananda or somebody, he was taking care. Last minute he was chanting. Then he said, then he told that never give up Hari Kirtan. Yeah? Give up hypocrisy. Yeah? Without hypocrisy, please do Hari Seva. Whatever happens, never give up chanting Hare Krishna. Never give up Hari Seva. This body is temporary. So all that. Then he spoke. Then he chanted Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Around 5:20 in the morning, he left his body. Then they took this happened in Kolkata, and then they took the body from Kolkata to Mayapur. So by the time there is one, I forgot the name of the disciple. He already told him, to arrange for the salt and all that, all the ingredients for samadhi ceremony of the spiritual master. So he already understood, that disciple understood that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta is planning to leave the body. Of course, for almost 2 years they were already. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was very disappointed with his disciples. Madan Mohan Malavya, he is a very great scholarly person that time. He commented to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta that I see most of your disciples, they are hypocrites. There is a lot of hypocrisy. Then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said, yes, I know, but where else they will go? So this is the only place where they can stay and get purified. So let them stay. Like that. So like that, so I can speak for 2-3 hours. So many pastimes are there, but I will stop here. So anybody wants to add something, they can. Huh? Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the nice narration of the pastimes. When Prabhupada went with his god brother to the donor's place, so this god brother was telling that my Guru Maharaj, he survived for 12 years eating only tulsi. So that made him laugh.
Yeah.
Okay, why you have to say like this?
Hare Krishna. So one person asked Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur that why is it devotees are practicing bhajan, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, most powerful process we have given, but still they are not advancing in bhakti. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur replied, yes, they have the most powerful process, but still they are not advancing because of selfish desires, selfish motives, and secret bad behavior. He said there are two reasons why they are not growing in bhakti. One is selfish motives. They are practicing bhakti. And Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur also said, if you are chanting Hare Krishna and thinking about bhoga, to enjoy, then you will suffer a lot.
Srila Bhaktisiddhanta established Chaitanya Math. Then he established all the Sampradaya Acharyas in Chaitanya Math. So one day, I think Madhvacharya's deity or Ramanuja's deity was broken because of the this thing, air and Hava and all that. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, so he established Gandharvika Giridhari deities. It was known that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta would go inside and lock himself in the altar every day night, and then they would say that he would discuss how to manage Gaudiya Math with Srimati Radharani. Like that. So that Gandharvika Giridhari deities, like that. So then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said, the pujari, one of the pujari is committing some mistake, some offense. That is why Ramanuja's deity was broken. And then it was found out that that pujari, he was writing love letters from the altar. You know, then like that. He was very, very compassionate. One day he went to Assam to establish to install the deities. Then there he sent one disciple there. He was helping him and all that in the prachar and all. Then one day what happened? He said that he left. When Srila Bhaktisiddhanta went there, he said, "Where is that disciple? Where is that devotee?" I forgot the name. He said, "Oh, no, he left because he was doing some extracurricular activities." So he said, "Unless he is there, I won't install the deity." Then he said, "Okay, where is he? Where is he?" Because that time no mobile phones, no computer data and all that. All this system was not there. Even I don't think do you have a database of all devotees? No. So they said, "No, I will find out." One disciple said, "How?" Because once one devotee came, his watch got spoiled. Then he said, "I will repair it," he said. So he must be working in some watch shop. So they went to all the watch shops, and then in one watch shop they found him. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said, everybody is drowning in the ocean of material existence, and everybody is struggling in the middle of the ocean trying to survive. But very few souls, they try to swim to the shore. And then if you allow somebody to go back to the ocean, it is just like somebody who reached the shore, we are throwing him in the middle of the ocean again. So he wouldn't allow anybody to leave ISKCON, and then he would tell lies, because that time very traditional families, close-knit families, and the sons are very important. They would come, so he would hide the brahmachari under his cot. And the parents would come, "Where is he? Where is he?" He is not there. He is right under the cot. Like that he would sell them off, send them off, like that. Then that devotee said, "Oh, I am actually waiting, when you will come, when you will come." So I was praying to the Radha Krishna Guru Maharaj that somebody rescue me because I am suffering so much. So then they brought him back, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he was very happy like that. Like that. Anyway, we'll stop. Hare Krishna.